Homelessness can be anywheres. Your own home, helping family and or friends in your spare room, basement, or over the garage. It can be in your own town or many towns in your own state. Homelessness can be in other states, close to you or far. How can we help? Most of us have been there at least once or maybe even twice in our lifetime. The company you work for all your life just folded, or maybe you have unexpected illnesses, or you were in an accident. It's not the old myth, they're bums, alcoholics, or drug addicts. Maybe they're in an abusive family, and the only way out is a shelter to keep them safe and warm.
Hi, my name is Ken Capron. I'm the executive director of a small nonprofit here in Portland called Memory Works. And we're exploring the possibility, the feasibility of converting a retired cruise ship into housing for several vulnerable groups such as homeless people, immigrants, and certainly our workforce needs housing and training.
You said you're going to use a cruise ship. Where are you getting this cruise ship? Where's it coming
we
from?
haven't exactly identified a ship yet, but we've been in touch. There's the biggest broker in the world is out of Germany, and they contacted us actually a few weeks ago, and they're willing to help us find a ship and not charge us their services. So that was kind of generous of them.
That's real generous.
They've been doing this for the German crowd because Germany's using cruise ships for the refugees.
Yeah.
And the homeless. So they're already doing it.
Oh.
And I'm anxious to get over there and see exactly what they're doing and what kind of ships they're using. In fact, they have more harbor space than we do.
Yeah, I would say.
Because in this country, a lot of the harbors are not very big.
No.
And so we're 65,000 people here, and we've probably got 2 miles of waterfront that we can work with. And a lot of places don't even have that much. So.
How did the owner get a hold of you? How did he know about you?
I've had quite a few articles in the newspaper. NBC did some stuff on this. I've heard from all over the world.
Wow.
From New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand. They have a ship that they're trying to figure out what to do with. San Francisco has a ship, but they don't know what they're going to do with it yet either. They don't have a place to hook it up and moor it. I was talking with Seattle this morning and Los Angeles, and I've heard from Martha's Vineyard, Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, PA.
So are they all watching to see what you do too?
They're waiting because we're doing a study that will be the foundation for a lot of these people to consider going ahead with bringing a ship in and seeing if it works or not. But we're going to be studying all aspects of housing vulnerable people on a cruise ship. Everything from the social services end of things to job placement to how to heat and cool it, how to feed them. A lot of things to be considered when we do this. So what we write up is going to be a do-it-yourself manual for everybody else. Well, it's working in Germany.
Germany, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
California, I don't know what to do with it yet.
Yep, they're sort of we're further ahead in doing the homework and doing the groundwork.
So what you say
is into the ship.
So what does it take to dock this?
To dock?
Yeah. And keep it here, because it's not moving, right?
It's not going to move. It's going to be mounted on pylons so that it won't be moving with the waves and so forth.
Right, you won't get seasick.
But that way, any of the dockside connections, because we'll be connecting to the city water and sewer and the electricity here. There are many issues associated with docking it. One is you have to get state permission under something called the Submerged Lands Act. You're not supposed to technically use the water for any non-water dependent uses.
Oh.
So this is going to be considered a non-water dependent use, so we'll have to work on that. The city has zoning issues. The city owns this property, so we have to negotiate with them on placement of the ship. We probably will have to do a little dredging. We'll have to do some digging and rearrange some pylons. And it depends on how long the ship is, but if it's longer than that,
That's what you gotta look
current
at.
cruise ship gangplank, if we extend beyond that, we're going to have to do something creative.
Sorry, something. Okay. So, yeah, this is pretty far, pretty long. So I've never seen a cruise ship up front. Too bad you don't have one right here.
Yeah. Well, the smaller cruise ships are about 500 feet. The bigger cruise ships, and we were looking at a 500-foot ship originally with room for about 800 passengers. But there is such a demand for low-income housing and homeless housing and immigrant housing, and we're struggling for workforce. So the demand has grown since we started talking about this. The opportunities to serve people who can't afford. A lot of people can't afford the initial security deposits because a lot of departments ask you for a month before and a month after.
Yeah, 2 months
right up front.
plus security.
So we're not going to do that.
Plus
so
the
people will
$35.
have an immediate place to stay without all the challenges. But it's also intended to be a short-term opportunity because I don't expect anyone to move in for a lifetime. I expect people to come, get the help they need, and move themselves up through the process, get good jobs, get a better place to live, and move back out. So it'll be a constantly recycling of space.
That was one of my questions: is are they going to be staying here forever? I would think you're doing them justice of just helping them move on.
Well, I have in the 80s I worked in a place called the Little Brothers Emergency Shelter, and this was kids who had been kicked out of their parents' house or whatever, or they were street kids for one reason or another. But they came to the shelter. They had 3 weeks to get their life in order with the help of a social worker.
Duh.
And they had to get back in school. They had to find a place to live, get back in school, and get a job.
Wow.
And it was 100% successful. I wish the program was still going on today. I think it would have been a great addition. But that's kind of what I'm modeling it after.
Okay.
If somebody comes in, they're homeless.
Yes.
If they're in reasonably good shape, we'll give them an apartment right away. If they need services, then we'll give them an area on the homeless deck where they can get social services. They can go to the health clinic, get checked out there, get any vaccinations or medications they need.
All this will be on the ship.
All this will be on the ship.
Wow.
And then once they get stabilized, then they begin the process of getting educated and going through some job training so that they can get a job in the community. We have a huge need here in Portland. We're like the restaurant capital of the world here. We have hundreds of restaurants. And this summer, they are all experiencing shortages on wait staff. So we can train some wait staff. We can change or create some busboys or chefs or
housekeeping. I'm sure.
Housekeeping. I mean, I even want to go so far as to train cruise ship staff.
Oh, that would.
Because we'll have the cruise ship to train them on, so that when a cruise ship is needing people, we'll just.
What a great idea.
Call us up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of ways that we can take advantage of this one ship. And to do this on land, to be honest with you, one of the reasons I'm so excited about it is to do this on land would cost about 5 times as much.
5 times as much?
Yep.
Why is this?
Well, we're getting the ship used.
Yes.
So it's the price is lower than it would be if it was new. Compare that to new construction on land of the same size, and we're talking 1,200 cabins. That's a lot of space. We're talking 16 acres
Yeah.
development.
Wow.
And so
Yeah,
on land, it would cost 5 times more
Wow.
to build it from scratch.
Yeah, I was wondering why a cruise ship opposed to an old building just to renovate. I would think that the building
Renovations are
would be.
very expensive.
Yeah. You don't
Primarily
have.
because the older buildings all have lead or asbestos.
Oh, yes.
That becomes a very expensive proposition.
Yes.
New building, new construction, and I don't know if this is nationwide, but here in Maine, we're short on workers for construction.
Oh.
So a lot of the construction that would normally be taking place right now is being delayed because there's not enough workers.
Or maybe some of these kids can, or even adults, can be trained and go to tech school.
Absolutely, we're going to have them trained for.
I know they have construction.
How to use nail guns and hammers and drills and how to do wiring and plumbing and stuff because it's a necessity in the community. We need those workers, and the only place to draw them from is either the immigrant workforce or those people who are not contributing to society right now.
Uh-huh.
So it's an opportunity in many ways. It's not just housing. Now we're talking about
making a life
employment, which we need desperately.
You got to teach them how to for interview, how to dress. You got to give them clothes so they.
We're hoping. It's in my plans now. I don't know if the funding will be there, but it's in my plans to make sure they have a good pair of shoes and some good clothes when they leave the shelter. I don't know what they'll come in with, but sometimes you've seen it. It's been,
I have. It's not pretty, but they can't help it.
It's not the healthiest situation.
No.
But we're going to bring them in, give them a hot shower, shave them if they want. Whatever they need as a
mental health
step to move. Founded when we were desperate in this state for the prices of work comp going up. And we founded them with a mutual benefit corporation, and just last week they paid out $22 million in dividends to all the people who are insured by them. So our hope is that by putting the money in through a mutual benefit corporation and giving the donors a piece of ownership and a vote in what happens, we hope that will attract more people.
Oh, that's just.
We're also going to knock on the doors for all the major foundations that we can. Primarily because this would be the pilot study. This would be the model. When we bring in a ship and plant it, it's going to set the ground rules for everywhere else. If we do it right, it'll work everywhere else.
Yeah.
If we screw it up, everybody else is going to have a hard time.
Or maybe they could think of a better way.
Well, it's funny because I work with seniors with dementia mostly, and there's a model in Medicare, in healthcare, called PACE. PACE, the Program for All-Inclusive Care for Elders. And it takes all of these pieces and brings them together, all the medical services and all the social services, and you create like a little village.
Uh-huh.
And Medicare and Medicaid work together to fund that, and they get literally all-inclusive care. Wow. If they're under that model. I'd like to see something like that for housing. To have between 9 and 14 decks, and each deck is going to be about an acre or two. Let's say 2 because we want a big ship now. And each of those 2-acre decks will be split up into neighborhoods, and each neighborhood will be unique in some way. They'll have a different person in charge. They'll have different levels of accomplishment. People who do really well in a particular program will be moved on up to a better room and a better setting, and get a shot at getting more education and being more involved in the community and get a job. So it's a matter, it's called Move On Up. It's a part of the industry, and the idea is to constantly be elevating these folks back to a point where they have the self-esteem and they're able to take care of themselves. There's a lot of them around that are just sitting up, and the reason there's a lot of them available, there's a backlog, very substantial backlog of cruise ships waiting to be refurbished. I don't know why we don't just turn over the harbor to a refurbishing, but a refurbishment is about a $20 to $80 million investment in a ship that's no longer functioning, so they have to rehab it. Well, they're stacked up, literally in Copenhagen and Germany and elsewhere, waiting for refurbishment. So they just as soon sell them as have them sitting idle. It does no good for the owners to have it just sitting there.
Yeah.
They still have to maintain it. So there are different places around that have a reserve of or surplus of ships.
How many do you, again, or that you can put in this?
Originally we were looking at about 800 people and 400 cabins. Now we're looking at between 1,600 and 2,000 people in 1,200 cabins.
Oh.
Just because here in Portland alone, we have a backlog of 1,100 people for public housing.
Wow.
Statewide, we have 1,200 to 2,000 homeless. The immigrant population is even bigger, and the workforce need, we're short, just in the healthcare industry, we're short 7,000 workers.
Wow.
So if
7,000.
we can make a dent,
yeah, you can
it'll pay for itself.
train them and go to medical fields.
Yep.
Even. Well, I want to.
It's amazing what one person will go through just to get a decent apartment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to have some really glamorous apartment, hopefully on the top deck
With a swimming pool.
with a swimming pool. There will be 3 swimming pools on the ship.
Oh, there will.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that would be great.
Probably 3 restaurants.
Maybe they could do acting and drama because they have staged, right? They
you
put
mentioned
that
the music.
together.
They have a theater in the round.
Yeah.
Most of them do. So there's a.
They can learn how to cook. There's the chef, the kitchens.
I'm looking forward to, and I've had this comment from several people with the immigrant population. Their cooking is out of this world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine having that?
Oh,
having people come
gourmet.
and spend an evening eating cuisine from
Yeah.
Sudan or Nigeria
Yeah.
or South Africa or
Mexico.
whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a real plus for the immigrant community.
So you seem hopeful that this will come together, or do you seem hopeful?
I'm an eternal optimist, but
Good.
I'm really good at finding ways around roadblocks. And there are a lot of people whose first response to anything new is no.
Yes.
And I just say, sorry for you, but we're gonna find a way around this somehow.
Yeah.
And so I see the roadblocks.
Yep.
We're still exploring a few areas that we need to be concerned about, but I don't see anything we can't get around yet.
Good.
That's
That's good to have that attitude. Say this is going to happen.
Well, I mean, you could go in with a defeatist attitude and say, "Oh,
Yeah,
we gotta do
that's-
this, and we
yeah.
gotta worry about that."
No.
Our 2 biggest costs are going to be we've got to paint the ship every year to keep it from rusting.
Oh, there you go. There's jobs there.
There's jobs there, and then heating the ship will be a challenge.
Oh yes.
And we're gonna be,
definitely.
included-
and water and sewer
Yeah, that's not too bad
and
here.
feeding them. How are you going to feed them?
Well, see, that they already have that issue. So the people who are feeding them now, which I believe is Preble Street, they'll be invited to come and do that on board.
Maybe the restaurants can donate their leftover.
See,
And you
that's
said
another-
there's many restaurants here.
Just along Commercial Street, there's
Wow.
tons of them. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, see, that's another opportunity
You're right.
that raises its head and says, "Hey, what about
Why not?
me?"
Yeah.
So for us who are
And
creative,
it's a community effort, and everybody feels great about it.
absolutely.
And they're moving on. They're not staying. So then the rest of the community is like, okay, they're getting better. They're not just being riffraffs.
I look forward to the day when people come to us and say, "Look, I need 3 waitresses for the summer.
Oh.
Can you?"
Oh yeah, you could say to employers, we have this, we have that.
Absolutely.
This person was eager and ready.
Absolutely.
Wow, this sounds great.
Planned employment.
Do you not mind if I come back when you have the ship?
You can have some space, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We're going to, actually, the space is going to be very cheap. We're actually talking about $1 a square foot, which is
Oh
ridiculously
yeah, that
low.
was my next. How much are they going to charge you
Yeah, that's
for docking here?
oh, for docking here. Well, that's negotiable.
Oh,
If we're taking the burden of their homeless people off of the city of Portland, they should contribute something, and I would like to see that be meaningful.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good point to
it'll
give
be
them.
tax exempt, so that's a good plus.
Yeah, tax exempt.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow.
So, there's a lot of questions still to be addressed, but
Yes,
we're gonna
there
be
is.
doing
I
a
have.
study, and we have up to 2 years to do the study, but I want to get it finished up at least the study part by this time next year, and then work a little bit on writing it up in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
So
A lot of grants, is my granddad.
we're fortunate in that the city of Portland has done about 10 different studies recently. They've done a study of this whole area here called Portland Landing. They've done a study of what they want the waterfront to look like in 10 years. We've done studies of homeless situation. Can't see the planes, but they're there.
Is that one of the cruise? Is that one of the? Well, the cruise ship would be a lot bigger. Yeah, a whole lot bigger.
So I think that we have a lot of basis to work from. A lot of information has already been gathered. It's a really good foundation to build this study on. So.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, I hope
if you could think of anything I missed, you know.
I hope in a year and a half we'll be standing next to my ship.
Yes.
Well, it won't be mine. It'll be
your backdrop will be the cruise ship, and not just you.
It won't be me. I was talking with the gentleman in Seattle this morning, and he says, so who's going to be the crew on this ship?
Yeah.
Because most of these big ships take about 600 to 1,000 people to crew the ship.
Oh.
I said, nah, just me. I'll get
you have to get a lot of volunteers.
I'll just brush all the dirt off the deck. And
how long do you think that this will take?
I want it to be 9
year?
to 15 months, starting probably in late January is what I think we'll
start on it.
Yeah,
I'm working on.
But like I said, I'd really like most of the study piece of it to be done by this time next year. We've got a lot of people to interview, some surveys to do. We've got financial resources to talk with. There's a lot of exploring, and while I'm waiting, I'm not going to sit and wait and not do anything, so I'm doing a lot of the work while I'm waiting. Just chipping in my own time. That's one of the advantages of being retired.
You're retired? This is retirement? I was going to say, how come you don't have an office?
Yeah, well, I do what I do for free because I can.
For free?
I can, yeah.
Oh.
I feel no reason to get rich off of underprivileged people.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Well, it's like it's a privilege of being old and retired.
Oh, did they give you a title?
I'm the executive director.
Executive.
Depends on what form I'm filling out. It can be the CEO.
Well, you definitely earned your wings. I'll give vouch for you.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I had a good time when I worked at the Little Brothers shelter, and that has stuck in my mind. I'm a CPA by trade, and that was my early exposure to social services, and it was just really, the kids really made an impression on me.
Yeah.
They have a unique way of communicating appreciation.
Yes,
they won't
do.
come up to you necessarily and give you a hug.
Hugs, yeah.
You know, they'll get you they'll give you a candy bar here or whatever.
I know, so sweet. They
well,
are
you
good.
can't beat that. You just can't.
You can't. Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Please come back when it's ready.
Oh, definitely.
My name
definitely.
is, I'm Pat Stebbins.
And what do you do?
I'm the Executive Director of Brian's Angels Homeless Outreach in Bristol.
Whereabouts is this?
We're located at 19 Jacob Street within St. Vincent de Paul Shelter. They allow us to rent a couple of rooms so that we can get people going on their next step from homelessness to whatever is better for them next. Housing isn't for everyone, or living alone housing isn't for everyone, but we try to help people get hooked up with programs and work, critical supplies. We are a jack of all trades for Bristol's homeless.
How long are you open?
We are open to 1 to 5 daily.
Every day of the week?
We are open 7 days a week, including holidays.
Including holidays.
We've only had to close twice, so that's not a bad record in 2.5 years.
2.5 years. That's my question, is when did this started in, why is it called Brian's Angels?
It's in memory of my son Brian, who died March of '98. Brian was homeless for 6 months. Brian had addiction issues, and seeing the homeless in Bristol as I was walking my dog, I decided it was time that somebody did something to help. So We grew from passing out a bottle of water to all this, and it became Brian's Angels in memory of Brian, because he certainly would have been helping us.
I'm so sorry for your loss. How old was he?
Brian was 24. It was 2 weeks before his 25th birthday.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you hear a lot of these stories since you've been starting the Brian's Angels?
A lot of stories. In the 90s, when Brian was sick, it was crack as far as addiction for the most part in central Connecticut. We have since moved on to opioids, which is a lot more deadly from what I'm seeing. Lost 2 people just last weekend. Neither of them were direct overdoses, but certainly lifestyle played a role.
2 losses in 1 week?
Yes.
That's so sad. And they came here, and that must affect you.
Regular clients,
Everyone
and
who
they were
come.
both very much beloved.
Most of the people that pass through here, they're pretty good to you.
Absolutely.
They really seem to appreciate being here.
95 to 99% appreciate everything. It's not very often that we come across the entitled crew. And usually I deal with them to make them aware of the fact that we are all volunteers here. They are lousy tippers when it comes to our sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I just give them a hard time back.
Yeah.
Part of my human nature.
Yeah. And they keep coming back.
They do, so that's interesting.
You must be doing something, right?
They know I love them.
Yes,
They
of
all
course.
know I love them.
Where do you get your donations? Because you said you did start off with the water, so what are you getting for them now?
Besides all the food that we supply to everyone, because that's 100% supplied by the community. I'm actually going to have to pull my list so I can be a little more accurate for you.
That's okay.
But some of the winter needs are $5 gift cards for McDonald's, certainly when people leave here at 5 o'clock and it's dark out. Especially for those that are outside. They don't want to have to go back to a tent or wander around for hours until it's time to go back to their tent. So $5 McDonald's gift cards are ideal. They have $1 coffee, they can grab a hamburger, and they can sit and stay warm for a while. For the winter, we also need boots, thermal underwear, regular underwear, of course fleece and sweats because people can layer that way. And for the center, we need cleaning supplies and paper goods, and it's the simple stuff, garbage bags. We can't keep garbage bags in stock for some reason.
I should have brought you mine, have tons.
So what happens here, people generally come in at 1 o'clock. We start serving sandwiches at 1:30. We are not trying to compete with the soup kitchens, but I don't want people leaving here hungry either. That was one of my initial goals after we opened the originally cooling center was our first function.
So it's a cooling center
Cooling center,
and
warming center.
warming center to come out of the hot sun and come out of the cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So boots are big. A lot of times, especially with the rain that we've been having in New England lately, people come through the door and we've got to redress them from the hat down to the socks and shoes because they're walking in soaking circumstances. Even yesterday, they had to leave here at 5, and when did it start to pour?
5.
About 5.
Well, that's sad. So you probably could use umbrellas as well.
Umbrellas, as a matter of fact, Dollar Tree, I usually buy them by the case. Dollar Tree does have small dollar umbrellas,
Yeah.
and for $1 they're disposable, but it gets people from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Flashlights, we can always use flashlights, backpacks.
A lot of
I
shoes.
want to push on boots for the winter. We really need boots.
Yeah, warm boots.
Right. Warm gloves,
Go through the
because
water.
the fleece gloves are great as a liner, but when you're walking in the wind, you need a good quality glove because your hands start to sweat and then they get cold.
I was gonna say dollar store too, but yeah, they do soak up the water pretty well.
Right.
Or yeah, especially you don't want to get them to get frozen or frostbite. So they really appreciate. I can see how they can appreciate it. This is really nice couches you have here.
Couches were supplied this spring by Crump Insurance out of Farmington. They came in, they cleaned everything, they replaced the couches, they bought us a refrigerator, And they also cleaned my stockroom. So
Cleaned your stockroom?
cleaned my stockroom. So they
Wow.
were generous. So they spent a couple of days here.
Very, very nice. So you get a lot of donations, people, but you can always still use more, as
Absolutely.
you said.
And we're kind of pushing for financial donations, which can come to Brian's Angels at P.O. Box 2111 in Bristol. We're trying to save for a larger location. We're hoping at some point to have a washer, dryer, and shower so that people can get cleaned up for a job interview. And I could really use an office.
What? No office?
No office.
I was just going to ask, is there other programs that provided here, like, how to get a job or job interview or change of clothes?
We actually just got a grant from Thomaston Bank to get computer equipment so that we could help people do online job applications. By being in the shelter, we're able to work directly with the housing navigator, with people from HRA that help do housing, and the social workers here. So it's an easy pass-through. I hate to lose this location because it's been so ideal. People from the shelter can come in, relax for a while, and wait to work with their social worker. We refer people for medical services, food stamps. We just send people in the right direction so that they can get back on their feet again.
That's good. So it's from 1 to 5 because the shelter is the shelter to sleep in is closed.
There's other facilities available in the morning. People can go to the Salvation Army at 9. They open to allow people coffee before they start serving for their soup kitchen. Agape House is 8 to noon. The library is open, so they've got other alternatives in the morning, but there isn't much in the afternoon other than the library.
So 1 to 5 is ideal, and they can go right into the shelter.
Right.
If
Or
they're
the
able.
others who I'm pushing for gift cards for can go to McDonald's.
Go to
or-
McDonald's and they can socialize there. Well, it sounds like a good program. That sounds like it is a great program. It helped you out too.
The
You
fact
have a
that
lot
we're
of
doing
volunteers.
The fact we're doing it 7 days a week and it's all volunteer, I was told that it couldn't be done, as a matter of fact, so I just simply said, watch me, and we're doing it. We're doing it. We have a great crew. We're really starting to meld together because as a volunteer agency, the numbers of volunteers go up and down constantly. Life happens with people, and they might come in volunteering a day or two a week, and something happens in the family, and then we don't get them for a while.
Wow, that's good. Do you have a volunteer that I can talk to?
I do. I have a
May I
volunteer
speak to
in the
her?
room.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay. Hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
my name is Kim Margalat.
And you are a volunteer here at Brian's Angels?
Yes, I've been here about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks. How are you liking it?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it.
What is your typical day, or
Yeah,
what that you usually do for?
come in, like 1:15, put the coffee on, let the clients in at 1 o'clock, and then we start making lunch for them. We serve water, iced tea, constantly during the day, coffee. Then after lunch, we have snacks, maybe candy or cookies or something like that. And, if they want to look for shoes, we take them in, they can look for a pair of shoes. We help them out. And then at 4 o'clock, because we only have an hour left, what we do is if anybody wants to take a care package with them, they go in and they pick out, a canned good or two, some snacks, water, so that would, hopefully last them through the night.
So this must be very rewarding for you.
I volunteered before, when I was working, and it's a really passion of mine. If I can make somebody smile, my job is done. I come in with a good attitude because that's what they need. They need to laugh and forget about everything that's going on out there. So,
Yeah, their own things that they have to get through themselves. Yeah, I could tell you're very sensitive to the news.
I am, and what really touches me is the donations that we get on a daily basis from the community. I mean, every day there's garbage bags full of clothes and bags full of food. It's really amazing what the community does for this place.
Oh,
Unreal.
that's really touching, and I can help if this film can help.
Yes,
both.
definitely.
What made you come here just to this place to volunteer?
I'm on Facebook a lot, and I read that somebody, needed help with the Mum Festival for Brian's Angels, and I that was my way in, when I went there. We had a great time, and I just said I really want to volunteer, and then, I don't know, the next week here I was,
Wow,
always willing to take new volunteers.
that's
It's such a great feeling at, 5 o'clock when you leave.
Hi, what's your name?
Clara Busa.
Claire Busak. How are you connected to Brian's Angels? Do you
Well-
volunteer?
No, I help out when I can. I became homeless.
You've used their
Almost.
services?
I'm sorry?
You've used their services?
Yes. Pat is such a big help when it comes to needing anything, anyone needing anything. I work at the shelter, so
Oh, you work at the shelter connected.
yes. I met Pat when I first became homeless almost 3 years ago, though.
3 years ago. Wow. And so how has it helped you, and where are you today?
I have an apartment, kinda. Kinda. It's coming. I know.
But you're staying with it. You're very
Yes.
strong.
Oh,
and
yes.
Pat's helping you. So
Oh yes, Pat is amazing. Definitely amazing. Anytime I need anything, a sandwich, a cup of coffee, a pair of shoes, which isn't often, but anything I need, Pat's always there. She helps so many people.
You look great. You're shining. So
Thank
I
you.
could tell you're feeling good about yourself.
Oh yes. Oh, yes.
It's different compared to 3 years ago. How were you?
It's a lot different. I'm a totally different person than what I was before I first became homeless. I was humbled by it mostly. Pat helped me through so much of the harder times because I just didn't know how to deal with some things mentally. And all I had to do was call and say, Pat, can we talk or whatever? And she was always there. She's there for everyone. I try to be there when she needs someone. And she's just wonderful. Brian's Angels is one of the best programs around here that I've ever seen. Down where I'm from, we don't have programs like this. I'm from Maryland. They don't have programs like this.
Your story is very touching. I'm like almost in tears here. All that you've accomplished yourself, because don't forget you're part of.
I've worked hard to get where I'm at. I'm not gonna lie. It hasn't been an easy road. It's not an easy road for anyone. It can be done. You just have to have the right mindset, and you have to say, okay, this is it. I want to move forward. I don't want to stay where I'm at.
Good for you that you just move forward and you use all that you could that Pat has helped you with.
Yes.
And the people who come here, I'm sure.
I try to help the people, the clients that come in and out. I know quite a few of them, and most of them know that if they need to talk, I'm there for them. I'll listen gladly. I have no problem. If Pat's not here and they want to talk, I'm here. I'm here. It's paying it forward. Someone was there when I needed them, and now I'd like to.
Now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Good for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling you that. It's telling me, telling everyone, because this is going to be on TV. You do realize this, right?
That's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah.
You don't mind? Okay. Yeah, it takes a lot to say that, you've been downtrodden and now, you move forward. And that's, you should be proud. As I'm sure you are, as it looks all over you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
First.
Okay, I want to thank you both for talking with me, and I hope that this film will help you gain more financial gain so that you can move into a bigger place. You can shower and into job interviews. I mean, more things programs that you can offer them. That'd be excellent. And you too, Pat. What an honor that you've done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's cry.
She's an inspiration.
Yeah, and you also, speaking with you, you would never know it's been 3 weeks. You think it's been years. So
Yeah, it comes natural.
I thank you from everyone who's come through here and donations.
Thank you for
You're
taking
welcome.
the time to do this for us. It's
Oh.
appreciated.
Oh,
Much.
absolutely. What's your name?
My name is Sue Heald.
What do you do here?
I'm the general manager at Masters Manna in Wallingford, Connecticut.
So Masters Manna, what it is that you do here for people?
Masters Manna is a nonprofit social services organization. Our main emphasis is to try and alleviate food insecurity. The main thing that we do at our location in Wallingford is we have the largest food pantry in the area. We also have our family dining center where we're serving breakfast and lunch on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also dinner on Wednesday evenings. We have a nurse practitioner come in and a behavioral health specialist from Community Health Center. They come in 1 day a week each. We do a lot of referrals to other social service agencies, so we are trying mainly to alleviate food insecurity and food needs, but we do offer other services here as well.
What other services do you hear? Because do you have here? I took pictures. You have a warehouse and clothing.
Right. We do have a warehouse area where all of our donations come in. Everything is weighed and logged into our system for donations. We have a big warehouse where if there happens to be any back storage of extra food, it's temporarily stored. Usually food comes in the donation door and is put on the shelves right away. We don't usually have a lot of storage. We also take in clothing donations. We take in housewares donations such as sheets and blankets and towels and pots and pans and bakeware and glassware. We have a marketplace where we let folks come in on Monday and Wednesday mornings by appointment to look at the clothing and the housewares. It's a little bit of a fundraiser for us. So between the dining center and our marketplace and the warehouse area, we keep a lot of volunteers busy, and those of us on staff, we're busy as well.
So is the public, just the general public, allowed to come in and buy clothes too?
Anybody can come in. It's like I said, it's a little bit of a fundraiser. We ask for a donation and we provide the bags. It's Monday and Wednesday mornings by appointment, and we provide the bags. Folks can look at the housewares and the clothing, but you don't need to be signed up for any other services here at Masters Manna. You can come in and use our marketplace facility also.
You have quite a place here, and you said you had a shower place so they could shower. Not in this place?
Not in this location. In our previous location, it's on our radar. We've only been here a little bit more than a year and still trying to get settled in here a little bit. That's something that we would hope to be able to provide in the future. We were providing shower opportunities at our previous location. It takes money and it takes space to set those kinds of options up, so until that becomes available, we do not have shower services. We're also working on a washer and dryer situation where folks can come in and do a load of laundry. Again, we're waiting for the opportunity to come across the funds to have a plumber do some plumbing work for us, and then we hope to be able to get a washer and dryer back in operation for folks who need to do a load of laundry.
So this is solid where you're staying is right here, and this is where you're going to try to put all those in.
From what I understand from the board of directors, we're set here for another 4 years, so
Oh, that's good.
that is good.
Really good.
We don't have to worry about looking for another place.
Right.
Yeah.
I also, do you have, you may have mentioned it, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, for people who want to move, I'm sure everyone wants to move forward, but in the job, if they want to learn how to do a job resume or clothing for success, or
The clothing just strictly depends on what's been donated
Yeah.
to us, but I think the ladies who work back in the marketplace area, I do think that they have some things separated and on hold in case people are looking for more career-oriented or job interview-oriented clothing. As far as job vocations, we do have interns from various colleges and universities come in and put some time in here. We have students from local schools who come in and help us. It sort of works out like a vocational type of atmosphere. At this time, we don't have public computers available. I know that's something that we've done in the past. Again, it's a space constraint as far as that goes as well.
right? I mean, this is a nice place, but then where are you going to go for your own office benefits, right?
That's right.
Can you like guesstimate how many come through here and how many you probably you help everyone, but I mean help them move forward if you don't.
Right now, we see about 450 families a week using our food pantry facilities. Initial sign up is on a walk-in basis. We need to see identification for everybody in the family and proof of an address. And then after that, it's by appointment only. We do some homebound deliveries also on Friday to some local folks here in Wallingford. But at this time of the year, and this is right before Thanksgiving, we're at capacity with our appointment schedule. I know last week we had 441 families that had appointments to use in the food pantry. Obviously, not everybody makes it. We do have folks walking in almost every single food pantry and signing up first time with us. The numbers are overwhelming. What we find is a lot of our food pantry folks are working, but just can't make ends meet. You know, people have leases or mortgages and car payments and insurance and health insurance and doctor's bills and things that the kids need, and money is tight and expenses are high, and they find that they can't make ends meet, and where do you cut back? So when folks come in here, we tell them we don't need to know what your income is. If you come in, if you cross the threshold and you say you need help with food, we are here to help you, and we're here to help you as long as you need us. It's wonderful when somebody's looking for a job and they finally find a job, and we tell them, don't stop coming just because you now have a job. We know it takes a long time until you're straightened out, you're back on your feet, you're able to have enough money to cover all of your needs. So we do encourage people to come in, and it is a success story when we hear from somebody that, I'm finally back on my feet, everything's straightened out, and thank you for your services. And we just remind everybody again, we're here. If you need us again, just don't be shy and come on in and we'll help you out.
Wow, that's really wonderful. That's amazing. And also kind of breaks the myth is one of my questions. A lot of people may think that the only ones that come here are drugs and alcohol, or just they don't have a home.
We do have some homeless folks come in and sign up with us. Again, we do ask for identification. They may not have a piece of mail with their address, but we sign them up. We were established, again, you cross the threshold, you ask for help, we're here to help you out. We have the underemployed, again, where they're working but can't make ends meet. We have a lot of single parent families.